Hello and welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Dave, that's Scott, and today we're reviewing The Roaring Twenties with James Cagney, Humphrey Bogart,
Yeah.
plethora of other actors and actresses
Oh,
who we'll get
yes.
into momentarily. Uh, I know what I think about this movie. I was saying earlier that
Yeah.
I used to watch this stuff as a kid growing up. They were on,
Right.
seems like all the time, like looking back at it. They were on the Late Show. They were, Gangster Week on the 4 o'clock movie, something like
Yeah.
that. They were always on UHF channels, VHF channels. And you had said that you really watched a lot of
No,
this.
I didn't. I up until recently, I was kind of a snob when it came to old movies. I just wow, I never gave him a chance. So I was just like, oh, I
Right.
don't want to watch that old ass shit. Here we are on old ass movie reviews. I don't want to
Yeah.
watch that
Right.
old ass shit. It's black and white. They can't even be bothered to be in color, man. Them weak bitches, that kind of shit. So it's like I would stay away from it. But when you and I started talking movies and you started turning me on to movies that are good, it's like, okay, Dave's on to something here. And we start digging into these old
Right.
flicks that you grew up watching. I'm discovering them for the first time. I'm discovering actors for the first time.
And I
And
find
it's
it
just,
amazing.
yeah, I know, right?
I really do. I find it amazing.
And it's wonderful. I am seeing such great cinematography, great
Yeah.
acting, great storytelling, directing, sound design, set design,
Right.
special effects. There's some amazing stuff in cinema, but nothing prepared me for the amount of stuff that I have run across in some of these movies
Hmm.
that surprise me, like strong women,
Yeah.
gay characters,
Yeah.
colored people of color in different positions that you wouldn't
Right.
normally see. It's almost as if we're being lied to on a lot
No,
of stuff, right? So,
Hollywood would never
yeah.
lie.
So, watching these movies is enlightening in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
You're starting, it also makes you think about things the way they are today and back then
Right.
and what, so it gets you on another track. But that really is a side product of watching an old movie like this.
Mhm.
But I enjoyed these films. Cagney is a phenomenal actor. We've talked about that over and over, how he's just he's effortless, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. When you see him, you're just like, this guy, he's not even acting. He's
no,
just walking
I
on and he's just saying the lines. And it's like you said, effortless.
he's the
He's,
character instantly.
yeah,
I don't even question it, and it's like, wow, I want to be able to do that. And that he has such a huge catalog of
mhm,
stuff. So he was very he worked a lot, so much he was constantly working and training and everything, and it
mhm.
shows. Yeah,
Yeah,
phenomenal.
he was absolutely phenomenal. Um, you had mentioned Bogey. I texted you about,
Oh yeah, Bogey.
Bogey was in this.
Yes.
And you said it's strange to
I
see
yeah,
Bogey as a
I thought it
bad guy.
was I thought
That's
it
how
was
he's,
strange because
yeah,
my experience with Bogey is we did Casablanca, Maltese Falcon,
right.
Sabrina. So he's not a bad guy in any of those movies. I mean,
Right,
you could
right.
argue Casablanca, but not really.
Yeah,
So it's
just a
seeing
mercenary.
him, yeah, but seeing him as he's not likable in this movie. So
No.
props to Bogey. He plays the character
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
And it's really cool because you see Cagney and he's relationship. It starts at the very beginning of the movie, World War One, right in a foxhole.
yeah,
Um, it's there's something about these opening war scenes, this opening act, that really shows the characters because you have
yeah,
the Lloyd, is it the lawyer?
yeah. You
Um,
have James Cagney as Eddie Bartlett. You have
Eddie Bartlett,
Humphrey
yeah,
Bogart as George Haley, and then you have Jeffrey Lynn as kind of the nice Harvard guy back in the
he
day,
is. Dude, that
kind of pure of
scene
heart.
where they're taking cover in a building
Mhm.
and Lloyd has his bead on I'm assuming a German soldier.
Yeah.
And he says, oh, he's could only be about 15. They switch the camera to Bogey. He fires the shot. Well, he won't see 16.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, and then the war ends right then. And it's like, that showed me everything I needed to know about his character in that one scene. And it's like, wow.
And especially that he didn't look back and go, oh, shit.
Nope. He was fine with it. He was cold, man.
Didn't care.
He only cared about himself, and that shows throughout the movie, especially when they reunite.
Yeah, that guy was a scumbag.
Oh, he was.
I also mentioned Priscilla Lane.
Yes.
Who is Jane Sherman. She was in Arsenic of the Old Lace.
Yes.
She is the bride in that.
Now, do you know if in this particular movie, is that her vocals or was that somebody else?
I don't know. I asked Kat if she knew. If it is, this is the amazing thing that they could do back then. If it isn't her doing the vocals, they got a match that was dumbfounding.
Mm-hmm. It's so well done.
This was the studio back then. So chances are, because you went to vocal classes, you went to dance class, you went to sword play, even if you were, just in case they wanted Cagney to be a swashbuckler, I'm sure he was getting, sword lessons and stuff and riding lessons and anything else. So there's a really good chance that Priscilla Lane actually sang those songs.
I pulled out my phone so I could Shazam it to see if that was who actually was singing it, and it did bring up a soundtrack from a composer of this. So I didn't dig any deeper. So it seemed like it might have just been a studio vocals, and very well, which means it very well could have been her. But yeah, very, very well done. Neat characters in this. We talked about Bogey as the jerk, and okay, so let's just set this movie up. Starts off World War I. It ends. Here you have all the soldiers, and we're talking a ton coming back who went and gave and did for their country what was needed.
Yeah.
And they backs were turned on them when they came home and needed a job.
Real quick.
Yeah, real quick. And damn, it repeats.
Made, all broken.
Happens every damn time. So it's so you see he's struggling. He's a go-getter. He wants to do anything, but everything's just slapping him down. So what's he do? Yeah. He goes to crime. And it's
that was completely
by
accidental.
accident. By accident, dude.
He literally stumbles into it by accident. It's like, oh man.
Yeah.
All he had to do is, if he'd have quit early, he'd have been okay.
Yeah. So to set it up, folks,
lawyer friend Jeffrey Lynn, who played Lloyd Hart, listen to Lloyd, he'd got out of there.
Well, Lloyd continued to be the soft, good-hearted, decent character. He was the moral compass of the group,
and he always saw the good in Cagney's character.
He did.
Because Cagney helped him. Cagney saved him. Cagney brought him on.
They were friends. He would have never done anything to Lloyd.
And that's what's funny. The character of Eddie Bartlett, who Cagney plays, even towards the end, there's a lot of action that happens, a lot of play where you're looking at this stuff and you really have to think about Prohibition. What a money-making deal it was for the government, i.e. senators and congressmen, state senators, state representatives, judges, because they were all getting paid off. Just with the drug cartels now. They're all getting paid off. There's not very good people out there right now. I would say the majority, not all of them. I'll take that back, not all, but a great majority of them, in my opinion, if you just look at the news and watch. Just like with Prohibition. And Prohibition put so many people out of work. You shut down the refineries,
distilleries, the breweries,
shut down the breweries. And you're not just shutting down those buildings with those people working there. You're shutting down all the ancillary businesses,
the distribution,
the farmers
everything.
That were growing the hops and the wheat, the truckers, the people who are building the barrels. I mean, this list goes on and on how many people just this one extremely freaking stupid law affected in a super negative way. And then the criminal stepped in. And to top it off, I lived in Michigan. I could literally sit on the Detroit River, look across the water at Canada, drive over the bridge to go to Canada. And back then, you could take a boat over to Canada. Guess what you could do in Canada during Prohibition in this country? You could drink. Guess what got shipped over from Canada into this country?
Mm-hmm.
Booze.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and not to mention Mexico and Cuba at the time, they could all get booze. What do you think was coming up through the Keys? Booze.
It's so frustrating.
Booze.
It's a really frustrating time in our history that shit like that happens, and it just continues to repeat itself. And it's like, come on, will you know? Anyway, I don't want to turn it into a completely political discussion, but it is the politics of the time and continues, and it is relative to it.
Movie too. So yes, for me to bring that up, it's like you have to look at it and go, this
you absolutely do.
This is just
and
bad.
That's what I'm saying. It still happens. I'm just trying to prevent myself from going on a long rant.
No, okay, I get it. No, I agree. All right, David, shut
up. No, but this movie does show what happens when something so unpopular is put forth, and people are all of a sudden told they can't drink, and the criminal elements come up, and you have they show the corruptness all the way through to the judges, to the cops, and everything. One of my favorite characters in this movie is Panama. Is it Panama Smith?
Panama Smith, the lady.
Yeah, she is great.
So bad for her through this movie, though.
Oh,
she's a great character.
She was so in love with Eddie. They show it from the very beginning. I wish you would have said it.
Came out and said it. She never came out and said it. It's like, if you would have just said it,
right?
Maybe something else would have happened. You know, I don't know.
Okay, and
it's and that's a good script. That is such a good script.
It's a good script.
Frustrated with the character, and it's not a stupid reason. Like the reason she doesn't do it isn't dumb. It's not
because
like
she loves him.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Because so Eddie receives mail from this girl who looks much older than she really is. I saw this coming a mile away with the way her mom was talking and religion and everything. It's like, oh my, what is going to happen here? I was like, she's going to be a little schoolgirl coming home. Sure enough, it was a picture from her school play where she was made up to look much older.
Yeah.
And Cagney, he does the right thing to an extent.
And his friend is laughing at him. His friend standing behind the girl, just looking at him like.
I wish Eddie would have stayed and just been,
I think it was
but I know why he ran. It really threw him off. He thought it was an older one. He was looking for a hookup, and I don't blame him.
I'm thinking he must have been. I'm sorry, go.
Yeah.
How old do you think he was coming home from the war? How old do you think he was supposed to be?
Probably early 20s.
See, I was thinking 19 or 20.
Yeah.
So he meets a 16-year-old girl. I don't know how it was back then, but he was uncomfortable with it, and he was just not going to have it. He was just like,
and I felt bad for her because he could have been a cool moment that could have developed, but they needed this. They needed to show
to work out the way it worked out.
It had to work the way it did. There was no way that relationship was ever going to be. So it was a bit of comedic, comic relief, and this movie has quite a bit of comedy up to the last act.
It does. Right up until the character Danny gets it. And Danny's played by an actor named Frank McHugh that I've seen in a lot of, again,
he was so good
actor. I've seen him in a lot of things. And he is Cagney's best friend in this movie. Mm-hmm. He's a guy who he basically seems like he grew up with him. He knew him from the neighborhood. And it's you see this coming, what's going to happen to Danny from a mile away.
You knew it.
Yeah.
It comes close a couple times. You're like, is this it? Is this it? And then
you're like, oh, thank goodness. Oh, he's going to make it. No,
Danny don't make it.
Danny don't make it, folks. That should be the name of a movie. Danny don't make it.
There's something I was thinking. I forget I think it's when he goes after George. And
Right.
he kicks the dude right off the balcony.
Oh yeah, yeah.
With
Oh, you like to laugh at me, do you?
yeah, you like the jokes or laughing. You're laughing. Who's laughing now? Or go laugh
Yeah.
at this. I forget what he
Laugh this
says.
off.
Yeah,
He
and
kicks
kicks him
him out.
over the balcony. He's like, damn,
He's
dude.
done. By that point, he
Oh,
knows he's a dead man.
yeah,
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 Cagney's character knows he's a dead man. But I want to give this movie to you really quick.
yeah,
Cagney, Bogey, and Jeffrey Lynn, all meet in a foxhole. They come out of the World War One. The two become gangsters. Cagney and Bogey both become gangsters.
yeah.
Lynn, still a lawyer, doesn't like Bogey's character named Eddie. Because
No,
Eddie's a
Eddie
real
is
jerk.
Cagney.
Or George, I'm sorry. George is a real jerk. Lloyd Hart is the lawyer guy. He's played by
He's the
Jack.
Boy Scout.
Yeah, he's the Boy Scout. He's a good guy. He and Cagney are still friends even after the war. Cagney brings him into his gangster business.
Yeah, he's
And
their lawyer.
He keeps telling Cagney, he's like, you have enough cabs. You keep buying all these cabs.
You could just do that.
You could just open up a cab company. You could be the biggest cab. Basically, telling him you could be the biggest cab company in New York.
He had thousands of cars.
Movie. Yeah,
thousands of cars.
But he didn't want that. He thought he was going to make more money being a gangster, and he probably was making more money as a gangster in the short.
He didn't have to pay any taxes.
Yeah, so. Which is always a good thing. Let's face it. That's why most people do it.
Yeah.
But the guy's honest. He likes Cagney. He knows Cagney's doing dirty, and he's like, yeah, he keeps trying to pull him out.
Yeah, he's trying.
Cagney's still in love with Jean Sherman, who's played by Priscilla Lane. Brings her to the club. She becomes a singer because they've hooked up again. He's trying to get her to be a big star. And she likes Cagney, but she's not in love with him. Cagney's character is in love with her.
And he can't see that she's not.
Yeah, she just likes him. She meets Lloyd Hart, and the two of them, I mean...
Oh, you see it right away, man. It's like, wow. Yeah, it was great acting.
Yeah, really good acting. And those two just fall in love. And the character of Panama Smith is telling Cagney, like, look, those two are in love, and you don't see it. You, for whatever reason, Cagney's all mad. He's like, "Oh, they wouldn't betray me." And I think at one point Panama Smith is like, "It's not a matter of betraying you. It's they're in love, and she's not in love with you, and he doesn't want to hear it." That right there, Panama should have told him, like, "Look, you and I are one and the same. We could do this together."
Their relationship, I really liked. Panama's a great character, and they just had good chemistry there. And I mean, I'm gonna face it, Panama is who I'd go have a drink with.
Yeah.
What a classy character. As just a digger.
And she was another one. She had a good heart. She's a gangster, but she's a gangster you would do business with too. You know what I mean?
That's why her and Eddie were very similar.
Yeah. And then Bogey comes in. Him and Bogey hook up while they're trying to steal all the booze off of Bogey's ship. And they decide they're going to double cross the guy Bogey works for. So long story short, everybody's double crossing everybody through this whole movie. The Great Depression hits. Cagney loses everything, which again, I don't know how, because the Great Depression was a real big boom for gangsters and prohibition.
Yeah, he was still running booze.
I don't know how oh no, you lost all your money in the stock market. Well, no. I don't know any gangsters that lost all their money in the stock market. Maybe it's just me. But for the story, they had to have Cagney lose everything. And
for the story, it works. If you start picking it apart, we can't figure out exactly how he went broke.
Right. Yeah, because to me, it doesn't make any sense of everything that I know about Prohibition and Prohibition era gangsters. You didn't see Lucky Luciano losing his money. You didn't see Garvano lose all their money. Those crime They didn't
Yeah.
lose their money.
But, you
Scarface
know,
didn't lose his money.
well, one of the things though that came out of the prohibition period is it gave us NASCAR.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
It
Well, what are
did.
you boys gonna do now that you can't run liquor?
Stock
Well,
car racing.
we
Yeah.
got a big old track over here. We're gonna drive around in circles. All right,
Awesome. And so
I
I
guess.
love I'm not a NASCAR fan, but I always love the origin of that.
Yeah.
It all came from bootlegging, and it's really cool.
What to talk about that for just a second? I used to watch NASCAR. It wasn't called NASCAR. It was just freaking stock car racing.
Right.
I watched it before it became the big NASCAR, and all the cars looked the exact same. I watched it when you had different model cars still
Mhm.
racing on the track in different engines, and you know,
Yeah, true stock car
yeah,
racing.
real
Yeah.
stock cars. I mean, these guys were actually working on their cars. So it's like, okay, you're not making any sense here with why all the cars look the exact same, and what is it? Who has the most gas in their car at some point? I don't
Who
know.
has the most sponsors? I don't
Yeah.
know. It's I'm sure it's exciting, but hey, it's a cool origin.
Hold on just a second. I'm going to let the dog out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
the
just remember when
whatever.
everybody like I couldn't tell you any names from that time period, but
Nah.
that's what I remember.
But that was just kind of a cool little side note
Yeah.
as you see that the production of this movie is really cool. There's a lot done on stage, on a
Oh yeah.
sound stage, as on sets and stuff. But there's a lot of cars in this. There's a lot of shootouts.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
uh it's this is a dude, this is a good gangster movie. This is entertaining to this day.
Did you catch any of the reused footage from Public Enemy?
No, but I did notice near the beginning it looked like a lot of stock footage of stuff that I was seeing in the
There is a little bit
intro.
of stock footage, but there's a scene. There's a couple of scenes about a drive-by shooting, and another one was the building in front of the building blowing out.
Uh-huh.
It's just a different angle from Public Enemy.
Oh, no
Same building,
kidding.
same drive-by shooting, but they must have had multiple cameras set up at the time to try and decide which one to use. Because as they were doing it, I was like, "What the hell? Did I just see what I
So
think I saw?" And then looking through some notes, they did reuse some of the footage
they pulled a Michael Bay before Michael Bay.
yeah, yeah.
All right. All right,
We
that's
already
cool.
shot it, and
Hey,
it's a
you got
Cagney
the
movie, so it all
footage.
counts.
Why does it look the same in these two movies? What the hell?
Yeah, but it was funny because it was a different angle, and I was
Yeah.
like, at least they used a different
Might
angle.
as well use it. I mean, I didn't catch it. So, but that's cool.
I like that. I feel bad for Panama Smith. She just
I do
should have.
too.
But
She should
Cagney's
have.
down. Man, he's so down on his luck. He's become a
Oh
taxi
God, it's sad.
driver. Um,
He's drunk.
he's a drunk now.
Oh, stop. Let's talk about that a second.
Mhm.
They made a point to show he didn't even drink.
Yeah, he didn't drink
Um,
until the girl left him.
and that was it.
Panama should have never
That's
let him drink.
nope.
But then again, he's a big boy, so what are you
He's
gonna
a
do?
big boy. Yeah, he got his heart
Uh,
broken, couldn't handle it. That was one tough motherfucker. And the one thing that took him out was
Who's
a booze and
abroad?
the love he
Who's
wasn't gonna get.
abroad?
Yeah. If he wouldn't have went to the booze, he would have handled his shit better.
Yeah,
So
he would have been fine. I think
yeah.
that would have been. But see, that's the good thing. That's when you know you have really good writing. When you and I can sit here and look at that character and go, "Oh, if only he wouldn't have drunk. If
Yeah.
he wouldn't have started hitting the booze, Panama would have been able to help him. They would have had kids. They would have been living off in the country probably, or he would have started his own taxi company. Something, you
Yeah.
know."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I think you and I both would have loved to seen a happy ending with he in Panama, but
yeah, but
it
let me
couldn't
tell
wasn't to
you,
be.
he when the ex-girlfriend Sherman comes to him and asks him for his help, and he's like, "No, I'm not going to do it." He's half in the bag. And Panama Smith looks over at him and goes, you're the only person. She's already jealous of this girl. She's already jealous of her, but she knows this is the only guy who could possibly go to Bogey's character and either scare him enough or maybe help him. And he goes to Bogey and says, "Hey, man, maybe you should lay off this district attorney.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's his alleged friend, but man, yeah. Bogey.
Well, he already knew that Bogey was a piece of shit.
Yeah,
he should have known. If he wasn't drunk, he would have known that going in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but being half in the bag at the time, and Bogey just being a double crossing little worm that he is, says, no, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna kill this guy. And he tells him, he says, look, you kill this guy, you're just gonna get more guys on you. You should just let it go. Let him do whatever he's gonna do. And Bogey turns around and says, well, the guys are gonna take you for a drive. And he's like, oh, it's dawning on him. Oh, okay, you're gonna kill me because you think I'm gonna roll over. And Bogey tells him, like, you're just gonna go run out of here and you're gonna run to your pal. And I'm sitting there thinking, no, that's not his character, and Bogey should have known that by now.
But Bogey was paranoid.
Everybody's double crossing him because his character is double crossing everybody.
Yep.
So
because he knows he's a double crosser, everybody else should be. So yeah, that's
Cagney fashion. Oh, did you recognize the guy that Cagney fought and took the gun from and shot, or pushed down the stairs and shot?
No.
His girl Friday. Immigrant.
I'm
stupid immigrant.
Oh shit!
He's the guy. He's the guy that what's his name is bad mouthing, but he's his little henchman.
Yes. Oh yes.
Friday.
Yes. Because I was looking at him the whole time. It's like that guy looks so damn familiar. Yes, because he's got a very distinct face.
When he kicks him out the door and he slams the door, and he's a stupid immigrant. He walks away. It's like, dude, this guy just got beat up by a 90-year-old woman. And you're calling him names.
Yeah.
But that's the guy. That's
yeah, sure is.
I told you I've seen that guy in a bunch of movies. You always play that kind of character. That's another character.
Yeah, he has the look.
But he takes the gun from the guy, and Bogey gives that freaking great performance. Like, he's going to lie. He's lying and cheating. The first chance he gets is going to kill you. But he's terrified because he knows Cagney's going to kill him.
He see it in his eyes, man. Yeah, he knows he's dead.
You just tried to kill me? I don't think so. Not today. What, 3 shots? 2 shots?
Yeah.
2 or 3 shots to the guy? But they counted. I counted the bullets because I was like, okay, 1, 2, 3. I was like, they're going to go with, like, he's going to have 8 shots, 10 shots.
No, he didn't.
No, they didn't. These guys, they knew their shit because I've watched old movies.
I was counting as well, man. I was like, all right, let's see.
Shots, and you're like, come on, it's not a clip.
It's nothing is as bad as I think it's Charles Bronson in one of the Death Wishes, where he's on the street corner with this huge machine gun and the belt of bullets. And you see it actually go in, and he's still firing, but the belt is already gone. The ammo's gone. It's like, okay.
That had to be one of the last ones. Those guys just.
I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was a Death Wish. I could be wrong, but it was some 80s movie. Yeah. Sounds about right.
That scene, that's where he comes out. He shoots the guy. Has the one guy with the arm behind his back. He's got it like tucked up where he's going to break that guy's arm. He walks out, and the gangsters are coming upstairs because they think Bartlett got killed. They're like, oh,
yeah, they heard the shots.
Must have talked too much shit. And that's where the guy gets kicked over.
Yes, that's great.
The railing. That's a good stunt too. That's a
yeah. Holy crap! There was some. Oh man, I wouldn't want to have been doing stunts at this time frame.
You were a ton. You talk about being a stunt man.
Yeah, I would think you might make it.
What am I going to land on exactly? The floor.
That cardboard box.
Yeah. We're going to get Buster.
There's air in it.
We're going to get Buster Keaton. We're going to have him show you how to do a pratfall. All right, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Are you sure? I feel like I should be worrying. No, you're fine. You're fine. It's all good.
Yeah.
He shoots a couple of guys. he's almost out of the house, man. He's almost down the road. And the one guy gets him. Then gets him again. And then the cops are pulling up. Somebody must have called those cops. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, the girl got back and told her husband what was going on. And I think they don't make it clear, but I think that's probably what happened.
Yeah, they showed up pretty quickly.
Yeah, so they must have already been on their way. And you feel bad for Panama. I mean, she's just so in love with this guy. But I texted you, in my opinion, this is probably the second best Cagney death scene ever. Ever. First being White Heat. We're gonna have to watch that one day. Not now. We'll let some time pass. But in this one, when he's shot and he's tumbling, he's stumbling. He goes up the stairs of the church and he falls against the sign. And he tries to take a couple more steps. He's trying to get into the church, it looks like, and then he just starts falling down the stairs. And I'm like, holy crap! What that I was actually starting.
Very
to
symbolic,
like,
man.
Oh man, that's so good.
That scene said a lot. Yeah.
The Pedata, whenever she's holding him in her hands and he's dying in her lap, like, oh man, that is good. That's
this
the shot.
This is a brilliant movie, man.
Shot.
This is good.
Yeah,
this is damn good. I enjoy the hell out of it. And here's the thing: we're watching these old movies. There's something missing. A lot of gratuity, a lot of sex, a lot of gore, a lot of over the top violence. We get it. Things are violent. Everything in this movie happens off screen for the most part. And I'm starting to appreciate that more and more because they're being creative. They're like, okay, we can't show this due to either budgetary or censor reasons. Right. We can't show this. How do we make you feel that? And I think it makes somebody be more creative in trying to do something, and it just comes out better, man.
The two scenes that really stand out for this movie for me, like that you're talking about. I don't know if these are specifically what you're talking about, but yes, it fits perfectly. When Bogey kills the guard that he knew was the sergeant.
Oh yeah, dude.
All you see is Bogey shooting him, and the expression on Bogey's face, like he's taking pleasure in this.
Oh yeah, because the asshole had it coming, but that was stupid. That showed how unhinged Bogey was.
Right there, I think if I were in that position, I would have shot Bogey. I'd have left his dead ass there,
and then got away.
I'd have been like, I'm clearing my shit. Bang bang, even. Sorry, boss, gotta go.
I think he was surprised. I think Cagney was surprised at that.
And the second one is when Cagney's shooting Bogey.
Yeah, never see it.
It's the same expression. Once he's doing it for the girl, for the kid, and for his friend. And the expression on his face is like, I know I'm a dead man, but you ain't walking out of this room alive. And it's the upshot because it's a slight upshot angle at Cagney while he's looking down, and you see Bogey get shot and fall, and he's like, no, and he's like, and then the shot goes to Cagney, and he puts two more slugs into him, and you're like, oh shit, there's no way. That's like in Rogue One, nobody's getting off that planet alive. He knows he's not getting out of there alive.
Yeah,
he just knows.
If this was done today on some streaming channel, we would have seen Bogey's brains splatter across the screen. There'd be blood drenched and everything. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is about. I don't know. Let the audience see it in their head. I don't know. It just it works well, man.
I wouldn't mind like if you get shot and you see the blood.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, oh, okay. But it doesn't have to be. I think that's another reason I don't like the movie Scarface with Al Pacino anymore.
Lord.
When I first saw it, I loved it. I was like, oh, this is the greatest freaking movie. And I watched it a few years ago, or I tried to. I couldn't even make it through the whole movie. I was like, this is terrible. This is a terrible movie. And I have people look at me and want to argue with me. I'm like, you can argue all you want.
To you, it's a terrible
from a movie perspective. This is a terrible movie. I don't know how Pacino did it.
I'm not a fan, and I'm a Pacino fan, and this is
Yeah,
relevant to the
yeah.
conversation. This gangster movies. I guarantee you,
And it's the
Pacino
blood
watched
splatter.
Cagney. Yeah, but yeah, if you're talking Scarface, that's that whole opening scene with the guy in the bathtub and a chainsaw.
Right, right.
Is like,
Well, it's like,
and
yeah, we know,
as a
we know
kid, I
they
thought,
did that.
oh, this is awesome, and it's like now, it's like, really,
Yeah, and
really.
then the thing is, the Colombians did that shit. They still do.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
you don't have
yeah.
to show it. You don't have to show
Yeah.
it.
No, and before folks say, "Hey, you're a hypocrite because you star in extreme gore films,"
Uh-huh.
true, but I'm not
Yes, I
making
am a
them.
hypocrite.
I didn't make it, and people love that, and I love seeing how it's done, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
But I don't usually partake in watching the stuff that I'm partaking in. It's kind of weird.
which is odd.
Anyway, it's just to confuse you. Yes, I guess I am a hypocrite. So
No,
anyway,
no, it makes sense because you enjoy doing the movies. You enjoy the craft. You enjoy
yeah, I
the
just don't care to see
ability to do it.
other than the, oh wow, that was really awesome. How was it done?
Yeah,
So that's
and
how
I
I
get
look
that.
at it. Yeah.
I know people that were all about that in the horror movies back in the '80s. That like they're just like, oh my god, this is fantastic. And I'd always be like, why do you see that? I don't get it. But these movies don't have a lot of gore. Like you said,
Mm-mm.
they leave it to your head, like how much violence has just happened
Mhm.
off screen. And
And there's a lot in this
my
movie.
yeah, my imagination is a lot more than anything they could have filmed
It
back
is.
in
It
30s
is.
and 40s, So yeah, nobody dies on camera like Cagney, man.
Oh no, no.
Nobody.
That was such a symbolic scene. And when you mentioned it, I finally started putting the pieces together of him uh, going up the stairs to the church.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, my first thought when I saw that was a church. That's interesting choice.
Mhm.
And then I let it go. And then he gets to almost the top and then falls down. It's a whole symbolic of his life,
His
his
entire arc.
soul, his journey,
Yeah.
everything about that. And it is it's just such a well done movie. That's my take, folks. I wholeheartedly say watch this damn thing. It is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. It is fantastic. It's well acted. Oh, well set. Piece
Everything.
designs are great.
Dude.
Cinematography is it's very good for the time,
Mhm.
especially. They didn't do a lot with camera work. They didn't do a lot of
Right.
fancy stuff until after Citizen Kane came out, when that guy just went nuts with the camera. Like, what if we bring this through here? And
Yeah.
did it. And then
There were some times that I doubt it was this way because it would have been so heavy, but maybe so. Sometimes it almost felt handheld in a few spots.
you know
And
what? I don't know.
I don't know,
I
but
wouldn't
it
think
felt
that
that
they had
way.
any, but those upshots, and the funny thing is, I don't want to say funny because that's not quite the right word, but the upshots weren't like drastic. They were just
No, it was
enough to make
subtle.
you feel uneasy.
Mhm.
Like when they were doing
That's
an
very
anger
smart.
shot or the shootouts, and they were doing them from different angles. It was like, man, if they would have tilted that back just a little bit more, you would have been like blown out of your seat. But it was just enough to make you feel uneasy. You
It's
knew
calculated.
something was going on.
It's calculated. The cinematographer knew
Yeah,
their shit.
yeah, really,
And
really well done.
this what's amazing. Film hasn't been going on that long by this time.
No, no, not at
And these
all.
guys are knocking it out of the park right off the bat. It's pretty wild.
Fucking
Pretty
amazing.
wild. It is amazing. A lot
These
of
guys are
talent. A
good.
lot of
They know
talent.
their stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I say
Can we get back
yes.
to it?
You
Yes.
say yes.
I say yes. Watch it. You know what else I say? If you like hearing Dave and I ramble about old ass movies and just old ass shit,
And
hit
who
the like,
doesn't?
hit the share. Yeah. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, telegram, tell a mom. I don't know.
Telegram.
And whatever. And we will see you next week with more old ass movies. Thanks again, folks, and catch you later.
Cheers, folks. Take it easy.